guys, if you didn't have your homework done or if it didn't go well, I really ask that you guys do these with us because that you guys going through the process of fixing these, like if you got these questions wrong, I would really suggest you guys write them down again. We're testing on Monday, so making sure you're understanding these types of problems is super important. So you should all have your either your paper out or you should have other paper so that you guys can write these out with us. So can you grab something to write with? Oh, they don't have my board. So let's go through 21 and 25. Can you close this up, please? So for these, again, if you didn't have these done correctly, I really ask that you guys write them down, kind of practice. Let me know if you guys have questions here. All right, so they want us to solve for h. So we want to solve for h. So we're going to get h equals. So again, if this one didn't go well, please rewrite it with us, do this with us as we go here. So if it helps to kind of target the h, make sure I have it, kind of this is what we're going for. We're trying to get that alone. We're going to undo addition and subtraction first. So what do we need to move away? What's being added or subtracted? The 2b. And since it's a positive 2b, we're going to subtract, yep. So 2b minus 2b is no b's. Now these aren't like terms, so I'm just going to write them on the one side of the equal sign. And then on the right side, I'm just left with ph. So it might just drive you crazy that that left side didn't really get any better. It got worse in fact. And so we can't put those together because they don't have the same variable. So what's p doing to h? Multiplying. So how do we undo multiply? Divide. So we want to get h alone, so now we're just going to divide by p. And again, we like using that big division bar. It's a little less messy than the division symbol. Now, this one, hopefully you realize nothing can be simplified. Those letters, nothing, I can't pull anything out of that. So this is just my end expression. And again, equation. It doesn't seem any better, but if we were doing problems, we were trying to find the h over and over again, this would be really helpful. Okay? So as kind of not useful as that seems, it's something we will end up using. Then 25, they ask us to solve for y. Again, they use that strange wording where write it as a function of x to essentially solve for y. Okay, so we want to get our y alone. So in order to get y alone, again, we want to undo what's happening to y by addition and subtraction first. So again, my board's slightly off here. I'm going to get that y alone. So what's being added or subtracted? Go ahead, Clayton. 9. But careful. Is 9 being subtracted? Oh, so 0.5 is being multiplied. So since it's addition, how do I move it away? Yeah. So since this is a positive 9, we're going to take it away. So that minus sign behind it is with the 0.5. So just making sure that was clear. And that might have been what you meant all along. I just was trying to clarify to make sure we knew. 9 minus 9 is nothing. So I get a negative 0.5y. That negative is super important there. And then over here on the right side, those aren't like terms. They don't both have x's. So we're just going to write 2.5x minus 9. So I still need to get my y alone. And we mentioned that negative 0.5 is being multiplied. So we're going to divide. Opposite operation here. Now, I don't know if you left it this way, but since it's this kind of goofy decimal, I would probably say let's actually divide that. So probably want to grab your calculator because you're probably not great at dividing by 0.5, which actually isn't as bad as you think it is. But so 2.5 divided by negative 0.5. So divide this. It's a positive, well, positive divided by a negative. My board's like someone's been in here monkeying around my board. So negative 5x. And then two negatives is going to be a positive, and that's actually going to be 18. Actually works out to be pretty nice numbers. All right, questions there? A little bit better if that went poorly. You're okay? All right, so you guys can set that aside if we're good on questions. We're going to open up to our notes for today. I'll give you guys those. And we are getting ready for our test on Monday. So again, that means if you're struggling, you guys should be stopping in for help. Let me know when you guys are working on homework. So our test will be on Monday. If you want to write that up there on the top of the page.
Yes.
Just a reminder, please bring a calculator. I have calculators to loan out to you guys, but there's obviously not enough if everyone didn't show up with one. You can't use a cell phone. So make sure that you guys have one the day of the test. It'd be really unfortunate to not. Oh, can you pass back to Griffin? Thanks. So our test is on Monday. Again, just stop by if you guys need help. So if you need to remind yourself to bring a calculator. Now, we talked about last chapter we did that notes quiz. So tomorrow in class we're going to be doing a notes quiz. And remember, that's an open notes quiz. So all of your chapter 3 notes you should have located. So that means you need to organize your chapter 3 notes. It's kind of that binder check to make sure you guys are taking notes on a regular basis. So there should be notes from all of chapter 3 that you guys have for tomorrow. And then you get to use those notes. So probably especially those you guys who are online, maybe just locating those, because I know when I do stuff at home, sometimes it doesn't go in a normal spot. So making sure you guys get that all together. So all of chapter 3. So for tomorrow, okay? And that's open notes, just checking that you guys are taking good notes here in class. So in our first couple of sections, we did 1-step, 2-step equations. Hopefully now looking back at these, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that was super easy now when we did that. So we have our 1-step, and then also 2-step. So we are solving equations, 1-step and 2-step. If you guys want to take a minute for these first couple, and I'll help you with them in a second in case if you're looking ahead at that word problem, I realize that we've already done that word problem, so we might put something else in place of that. We did that word problem back in notes. Or maybe we can do it again if you probably don't remember. I don't know. And if you don't remember how to do one of them, you remember how to do the other. Go ahead. Sorry. Oh. Okay. time. You guys ready to talk about them? See if you guys still writing. Wait a second. The second one. Okay. All right. So, looking at our first one here, this 2/3 x equals a negative 18. I actually think this is really similar to a warm-up we had like yesterday, maybe. So. We talked about this yesterday, and some of you guys I know just use your calculator for this. However, I prefer to actually use like show by steps and maybe 2 steps. So what do you guys want to do if you want to show your work on this one, rather than just saying put that into your calculator? How can you undo that 2/3? Yeah, go ahead, Lucas.
Multiplied by 3.
Yeah, let's start off by getting rid of that 3 by multiplying by 3. So I'm left with 2x on this left side, so the 3's cancel, and then negative 18 times 3 gives me, what do we get? Negative 54? Yeah. Okay. And then that looks like a pretty simple one-step problem. So really it was a one-step equation. We kind of turned into 2. So don't let the fractions scare you. Fractions are just happen to be division. So we undo with multiplication. And then this is multiplication we're undoing with division. So we're going to get a negative 27 here. And however you guys get there is okay. Just make sure that you guys are confident in the way you're using. Like, so if you use the reciprocal, that 3/2 you can multiply by. I know some of you guys divide by 2/3 in your calculator. Just make sure that you're kind of following that same procedure. So this next one is actually really similar, but there's addition and multiplication and division. So what do you do first? What do you guys do first here? Settle down, Mr. Hatfield. Yes.
Multiplied by 2.
Okay, so since it's all being divided by 2, we can start off by multiplying by 2. Just going to check it out, see? That's how you get observed quickly. So 8 times 2 ends up being 16. Very good. And then we're going to move that 3 away. So we'll subtract 3. And that one kind of breaks our rules a little bit in terms of the order that we do things. So we end up with x is 13. So I actually said we were going to take that Angela problem off of here. But you guys, like I said, you don't remember everything I say. We did this problem a few sections ago. So actually, maybe it might just be a bad one for you guys to try and kind of show you that you don't remember everything, but maybe you do remember bits and pieces of it. So see if you guys can recall how to set up the equation for Angela and figuring out how much each salad costs. I believe that's the situation in this case. So I don't want you to go back in your notes and look it up. I want you to see if you guys can recall how to find that equation or write that equation. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. What?
Yeah.
No, that'd be the semester. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know if I'm seeing the dig out of it. What's that? No, I didn't hear her. I was here. I didn't hear her. You can hear her. She's like, did you hear Miss? Yeah, I don't know. Where was? She was asking where Mrs. McDonald was. She goes, did you hear her go all the way down the hallway or just part of it? I
heard her sneak.
Did she go like only part of me?
She must have gone to another room.
No, I didn't hear her go far because they stopped.
Isn't that funny?
You can always tell when Mr. Ibsen's from that hall too because he like throws his keys up.
Isn't that funny? Like, don't you guys? We feel like total stalkers, but it's totally true.
Well, and that's how Mr. Engelbretson was.
Yeah, I told him
I
that.
could always hear him coming down the hallway.
His feet, yeah, he always worked in his shoes. So. Isn't that funny? It makes me like self-conscious about like my walking. Like I'm trying to like.
Well, not really. Just be fire.
Isn't that funny? So, we all sound like a bunch of stalkers. We know people's footsteps and how they walk. Okay, so. All right, so Angela ate at the same restaurant 4 times. Like I said, we did this not that long ago, so maybe you guys remember how to set this up. So she ate at the same restaurant 4 times. So that told us that we wanted to do something 4 times that amount. So I believe we used parentheses, right? 4 times the cost of the salad, and then that $5 tip. So you guys recall that. So, and some of you guys might have wrote it as 4x plus 20 right away. Like maybe you figured out the tip that she would have $20 in tip the 4 times. So it's however you guys came up with that. And we have to solve that. So then we're going to move that 20 back over. So we're going to do 4x equals 34. And then I think we found out that the salad was about $8 or is $8.50. All right, so then on 3, 3, and 3 4s, when we got into longer multi-step equations and then variables on both sides. So kind of kept getting a little bit tougher here. So this was multi-step. And then this one was variables on both sides. So again, I'll give you guys a minute here. So remembering that you're distributing first, combining like terms, add or subtract, then multiply, divide. give you guys a little bit more time and see. I don't want to jump on you if you're already doing it. So. Bless you. If you're waiting for us, that's fine. I'm just gonna. I have not, John did not give me one, so I guess that'd be a rule. So, even if you guys think you're completely done, make sure you guys follow along with us in case you did make a mistake. So I ask you guys are focused up here even if you think you got it all, just in case. So what did you guys distribute in section 3.3 first? So what did you do first, I guess, is my question. Yeah, Clayton?
Distributive property.
Yeah, so what did you distribute though?
The 3 x and the
Yeah, what kind of 3 is it though? Yeah, so that negative 3 is going to distribute it. So negative 3x is going to become a positive 21 and a positive 5x. So now at this point, what do we want to do next? What are we going to do next, you guys? Combine, which one did you put together?
I get rid of the negative x, I added 3x and then added 3x to the 5.
Ooh, careful here. This is a confusing idea. Since they're on the same side of the equal sign, we actually just push them together the way they are. So that's a really common misconception. So we don't need to move this over to the other side of the equal sign. It's just a negative 3 and a positive 5. So what's that going to be together? 2x. And it's okay. Like, I understand that it's really common to make that mistake. So those two go together, and that'll be a positive 2x. And then the 2 and 21 is going to be 23. So if you kind of got a goofy answer, that might have been why. Okay. So I think it should be a positive 21 and positive 2, so 23. Then I have to move this 23 over. So I get 2x equals negative 22. And then I'm going to divide by 2. So I end up with a negative 11. So what Tucker was doing with moving things from side to side, like the undoing, that's when they're on opposite sides of the equal sign. So that's what we need to do in the next one. So in this next one, we're going to distribute the 2 first. Kind of a lot going on here. Now, on the same side of the equal sign, we just put them together. So the negative 6 and positive 5 is going to go together. So that's just going to be a negative 1x. Then over here, I have a 1 and a positive 2. So that's going to be 3. So now which variable do you guys want to move?
With negative 9.
Yeah, I like to move that smaller one. So the -9 is technically smaller. Think about temperature that's colder than -1. So we're going to add 9x. So we get 10, and this is going to be 8x. And then this will be 3. Right? -1 plus 9 is or +8, right? And move this 10 over. Looks like we're going to end up with a fraction or a decimal, and that's okay. And then we'll end up dividing by 8. And before you flip your page, I want to remind you guys about the 2 special types of problems that can come up with these. So I ask you to close that up, please. So the 2 special types of problems that can come up with these types of problems is the no solution and the many solution, if you guys recall. So before you flip your page over, there can be either no solution or many solutions. Do you remember what the 2 differences look like when you end up solving those? Yeah. Okay, so like that 0 with the line through it's our symbol. How do I know the equation ends up being that? So like what does my equation end up looking like? Yeah.
If you put any number in,
It's not going to work at all. Yep, so, or this one's when you put any number in, it always works. Any number will always work. So when you go to like solve this, they lose their variables. Somewhere in there, the variables all cancel out. So when I get like a false statement, so if I get like 5 equals 4, that's not true. So that's where a no solution comes in. So if I'm solving this and I'm going through the problem and all of a sudden the x's cancel and I'm left with like something that doesn't make sense, that's a no solution. Whereas if I'm going through my problem, all the x's cancel and I get like 5 equals 5, then that's considered many or all solutions. So just kind of watching out for those 2 as they come up on like a test or in the homework. There won't be a lot of those, so if you like go through your homework and you're like, hey, we're no solution, something went wrong. So just a heads up on that. So as our break today, so kind of not a very fun break, I apologize ahead of time. As our break, and we might take another one a little bit later, I want you guys to go, we're going to go on to Khan Academy in a little bit, but let me just explain real quick. I just want to be completely honest with you guys. I have to be gone tomorrow. We have to, okay, so I'm going to just tell them because we have to put our dog to sleep, and our dog is almost 16 years old. So I've had her like huge chunk of my life, and so it's been really hard. So if I've been a little bit of space cadet lately, we've kind of decided that this week that it's just time for her. And so Mr. Donahue and I are going to be gone tomorrow. So just because I wouldn't be able to come after that. So I apologize that I don't like being gone from school. It's very rare that Mr. Donahue doesn't even know how to put in for a sub because he hates being gone so much. So we're going to be gone. So just heads up on that. I just really ask of your compassion and sympathy, even if you're not a pet person. It's hard for me. So I love my pets more than most people. So more than, they're my guys. So so what I'm going to have you guys do tomorrow is we're doing that notes quiz tomorrow, and then I'm actually going to have you guys do some Khan Academy. I typically don't do that. I know I don't love Khan Academy either, but it is good practice if it's kind of in small doses, if that's all that you were learning and I wasn't even teaching you at all. But on a day like this, it works nicely going into a test. So what I want to do is make sure that all your Khan Academy accounts are set up though correctly. So what I did was I just went in and assigned an assignment. So I want you guys to go into Khan Academy. You were supposed to set that up like weeks ago. So I think everyone's in there, but I want to make sure before I assign stuff tomorrow and then that it's not there. all able to get in. So I asked it, I'm gonna kind of come around and double check that you guys have an account and that it's in there. So it's Khan Academy, Khan. And hopefully it's something you've been into before. There is an assignment in there that just got, put in there, and I'm gonna have you just like kind of just go through that. If you guys want to grab a whiteboard or a scratch paper, it's just a short assignment, just to make sure you guys would know where to find it. So you'll have some assignments listed here. I think, yeah, this is like a 4-question assignment. Like, so are you in my class? Here it is. So if you go to your home, it's always like. So I just want to make sure everyone is in. So Ms. Miller, the person who I don't think is in, who I was trying to get her set up, is home. She's gone. Oh, so she might be our like one big glitch. Yeah. You need a plug. I think I'm gonna have you come over here though. You want this? So yeah, and with these there are like, if you want, there are video tutorials and stuff. Are you doing loading? Someone said the internet was slow today. So go here.
It was exactly over there to the access.
Oh, did I join?
Notice that we did all of the problems on the whiteboard.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, by the way, so this happened with
It doesn't look anything like it, like looking at numbers. I don't know if that maybe is okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, so just, I wanted to remember. But your homework was fine, right? Your today's homework was fine. Yeah, I didn't notice there wasn't any like, yeah. So, all right, Tori, are you on there? You should be going on to Khan Academy, please. It's not Khan Academy though. It's not gonna be in there though. You need to watch your phone, please. We were talking to you.
That's just how I say all right. I was like, all right.
Did you not, get in before? The last one you might need? Okay. Let me share. Is anyone else not currently in my class?
No,
You're not in there?
no.
Okay, let me put the class code up. You're supposed to join, I don't remember what day of school we did, but. So the class code is up there on the screen. I don't know if it, let me kind of zoom in here. So that QR6PS. So again, those of you guys online, if you haven't been in the class yet, gotta get in that code, and then I might have to reassign the assignment to you. Yeah. and you know the dad's on there.
Yep, yep.
You check.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now I think, so those of you guys just getting into the class right now, does everyone have that code that needs it? So those of you guys who just joined, I have to reassign those things to you. That's why I'm trying to make sure we're all in. So those of you guys who just joined the class, you might have to refresh the screen, but there should be an assignment in there now. Click on that, go to, yep. It's probably in your notifications.